Hello and welcome to Watch Releases Recap for the week of March 15th until March the 22nd. Let's begin with Breitling and their new Aerospace B70 Orbiter. Breitling Aerospace is a combination of a digital and an analog watch. Some people love these watches, some people hate them. This new 2024 edition is marking two special occasions. First of all, this year marks 140th anniversary of Breitling as a brand. Secondly, this special edition marks 25th anniversary of first ever continuous flight in a hot air balloon around the world. That flight was sponsored and organized by Breitling. It was called Orbiter 3. And now to mark this special occasion, the 25th anniversary, we have this orange dialed aerospace. This watch notably also features a new movement. So before these watches were powered by the B79 movement, now this new version is powered by the B70 movement. Looking at the spec sheet, it's essentially the same movement. Maybe they did some improvements, but hard to tell. The only thing that's omitted from the spec sheet is the fact that this watch doesn't have a background light. So maybe it does, they just didn't include it. I guess time will tell once we start getting our hands on this model. Just like other Brightling Aerospace models, this one comes in a titanium 43mm case. These watches are pretty thin, 13mm in case thickness. So this one is slightly thicker than the usual. I think the usual is under 11mm. It's something like 10.8mm. This one being 12.9. It's a couple of millimeters thicker, but that's because this one on the case back features a piece of that hot air balloon that traveled around the world 25 years ago. Kind of a gimmick, kind of cool, but what it does, it makes the watch thicker. It still comes with 100 meters of water resistance and a price tag of $4,700 on the rubber strap and $4,900 on the titanium bracelet. The Omega and Swatch mission to Moonface, aka Moon Swatch and Snoopy. It's hard to believe, but it's already been 2 years since the Moon Swatch came out. As you can remember, that was a very popular release. There were lineups outside of stores, people were camping overnight. These watches were going for crazy premium on the resale market. Then for the first year, almost every month, Swatch was releasing a special Moonshine edition that was available only for 1 day. So if you were a true collector of these watches, you had to line up or you had to buy them on the resale market to complete your collection. Now, 2 years later, we see the Snoopy. Now this watch was teased on Instagram and there were so many different renderings and people speculating what this watch would look like. And now we know what it looks like. Kind of reminds me of the Speedmaster Snoopy Special Edition from 2015 because of course that watch also featured Snoopy on a dial and it also featured a white dial. This one here of course looks quite different. First of all, the dial layout is completely different. This one is all white, white case, white bezel and a white dial. I kind of like this special edition. I think it looks really cool. Note, this will not be a limited edition, so this will be part of the regular collection. But of course, just like many other releases, this might be a little bit difficult to get initially. Please don't pay the crazy resale prices for this watch. Just be patient and you'll be able to pick one up from the Swatch store in no time. The cool thing about this watch that it actually features a moon phase. So they added that complication close to the 2 o'clock position. You can see it has little cutouts of Snoopy sleeping on the moon. And if you shine some UV light on it, you can see writing that says, "I can't sleep without a night light." Apparently it's a quote from the Snoopy comic. I personally don't know too much about the Snoopy comics and the cartoon. All I know about is the Silver Snoopy Award that Omega received from NASA. The Snoopy version of the Moon Swatch will be available on March 26th. It's going to be priced around $310. And as I said, it's not a limited edition. It's not a special edition. So you should be able to pick one up with time. The new Citizen Series 8 divers. Last year we saw a Series 8 GMT that I personally didn't like, but a lot of watch enthusiasts really liked it. In fact, if you read the comments in that video, a lot of people disagreed with me and not in a nice way. Hey, we all have personal preferences. I just didn't like that watch. I thought it was a weird combination of a Royal Oak and Rolex GMT Master, the Batman or the Pepsi. I thought it didn't work, but hey, maybe I was wrong. A lot of people like it. That's good. This new version is again sort of a combination of a few different iconic designs. It has an internally rotating diver style bezel, which looks pretty cool, but undoubtedly it very much reminds me of the offshore. The ears on each side of the case are Nautilus, and of course the bezel shape is very Royal Oak-esque. The Swatch also features an integrated bracelet, slightly different design to a Royal Oak, but nevertheless very reminiscent of Royal Oak. Now with this one, I actually don't mind the look at all. As opposed to the GMT, I personally quite like the Swatch. In fact, I was looking at the Citizens website trying to decide whether I want to buy one or not. Right now, I'm not going to buy one, but who knows, maybe in the future. So this new model comes in a stainless steel case, 42.6 millimeters in case diameter. It's only 11.7 millimeters in case thickness, including that inner rotating bezel, which is super impressive. The watch features 200 meters of water resistance, and it is powered by the Citizens in-house caliber 9051 automatic movement, which beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It has 24 joules and 42 hours of power reserve. There are 3 different versions available of this watch. To be honest, the only one that I like is the blue dial version. I think that one looks really sharp. It's by far my favorite. And in fact, I really dislike the other 2 versions. The one with the stainless steel case and that bronze dial is a limited edition. That one is limited to 1,700 pieces. And then the gold-plated version is slightly more expensive, but it is not a limited edition. And once again, I'm not a fan of that version. So the stainless steel versions are $1,600 and the gold-plated version is $1,700. I think the price is pretty fair. Yes, the 9 series Mido movement can be found in much cheaper watches, but I think the overall design and the execution is definitely there. I'd be curious to actually handle one of these watches and to see if they feel in hand as good as they look on pictures. The new Blancpain 50 Fathoms 42mm watch collection. For years we've been asking for a smaller version of 50 Fathoms. For the record, the standard version is 45mm in case diameter, which is just way too large. Yes, over the years they had limited editions and special editions that were in smaller cases, but now we have a brand new collection that is just going to be part of the standard catalog, and it's 42mm in case diameter. A lot more reasonable for a lot more people. But it's not all fine and dandy. Unfortunately, there are some pretty large negatives that I personally have with this watch. So let's actually go over this release in detail. First of all, the case. So both versions come in a 42.3mm case with a 14.2mm thickness. One is made out of titanium, one is made out of rose gold. Now you could also choose between the black dial and the blue dial version, and both dial variations are available on both case materials. The watches could also be had in a different combination of rubber straps or NATO straps, or with the titanium bracelet, and of course the price point changes accordingly. Now let's talk about some of the things that I'm not so crazy about. First of all, the date at the 4:30 o'clock position. I just don't really like it, but it's not a deal breaker by any means, just my personal preference. Secondly, the weird lug width. These watches have a 21.5mm lug width. So if you just have a NATO strap or rubber strap at home, no, you can't pair it with this watch. You have to buy straps from Blancpain because you just don't have a 21.5mm strap. I don't even know anyone who makes a 21.5mm strap. Just weird. I also don't like that writing on the side of the case. It's very Invicta-like, but again, that's just a personal preference. And lastly, the price I think is quite high. I mean, these are luxury goods, so my opinion might be different to your opinion. These watches are worth whatever people are willing to pay for them. But the titanium version on the strap with the pin buckle is $16,600 with the titanium deployment buckle, but still rubber strap, it's $18,400. So it's $200 extra for a deployment clasp as opposed to a pin buckle, which is way too much. Now the titanium bracelet is $19,300, and again, I have a huge negative about this bracelet. It comes with a butterfly clasp. Why does it come with a butterfly clasp? This is a professional 300-meter diver watch. It's not a dress watch, just a weird choice in my opinion. And then the gold version with a pin buckle is 30,900 euros, and with the gold deploying clasp on the rubber strap, it's almost $4,000 more. It's $34,300. So yeah, quite an expensive watch. Really glad to see the step in the right direction, but I don't know, some weird choices were made with this model. The new Mido Ocean Star GMT Special Edition. I had quite a few negatives about the Blancpain, but I have very few negatives about this Mido. Mido continues to surprise me. I think whoever they have in their marketing department or their design department or management, whoever this new person is or new management is, I think they're killing it. This new Mido presents some amazing value for money, and it's also a very good looking watch. What a novel idea. Make a good looking watch that's good value for money and people will be happy. These new GMT watches are part of the Ocean Star collection, which is a very popular collection. In fact, this collection is turning 80 years old this year. I think that's why there is this new special edition. The watch comes in a 40.5mm case diameter. It's a stainless steel watch with 13.4mm case height. It also has a reasonable 47mm lug-to-lug distance, so no matter your wrist size, I think you should be able to wear this watch pretty comfortably. It comes with 200 meters of water resistance, even though this is a GMT and not a diver. I like the fact that they designed this case without crown guards. It makes it a little bit more vintage inspired, just having the naked crown, if you will. I think it looks very sharp. I also really like the design on the bezel, the balance on the dial, everything is there. These watches are powered by the Powermatic 80 variation of regular automatic movement. This one has an added module to make it a GMT, so it has 80 hours of power reserve. It's not a high beat movement, but I'll take that to get 80 hours of power reserve. And the watches are also priced very reasonably. 1,440 euros, which is about the same in US dollars, and they're not a limited edition, they're a special edition, whatever that means. I guess the watch is just special because it's the 80th anniversary of Ocean Star. So if you are interested in one of these watches, you don't have to really rush. You should be able to pick them up from Mido retailers. Well done. Girard-Perregaux Laureato Chronograph in titanium. Girard-Perregaux Laureato is this underappreciated model line. It came, I think, 2 or 3 years after the Royal Oak, but it came several years before the Nautilus. Yet this model gets overlooked by a lot of watch collectors. It's not brought up in the same conversations as the other two. Now there is a new chronograph version of this watch in a titanium case with a titanium bracelet. The diameter is reasonable, 42mm, 12mm case thickness, which is super impressive because this watch comes powered by the caliber GPO 3300 module automatic chronograph movement. So it's impressive that they were able to pack that movement in such a slim case. The movement is high beat, beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour and having 46 hours of power reserve. The watch's design overall looks pretty good, pretty balanced, although again, with their date window at the 4:30 o'clock position, why? Just get rid of the date window. The watch would look so much better. The only thing that I'm not so crazy about with this watch is the pricing. It's not a limited edition, it's part of the regular catalog, and they're priced at 19,400 US dollars. Again, with luxury goods, it's kind of hard to say what's priced fairly, what's overpriced, but almost 20 grand for this watch with the module movement, I don't know, it seems a little too expensive. Maybe 15 grand, something like that, would be a much better price, at least in my book. And that's it, that's the video. Those were the releases for this week that I wanted to highlight. Thanks for watching it all the way until the end. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what releases stood out to you personally. Do you like that Citizen? Do you like that Mido? Maybe you disagree with my opinions. Leave your comments. I always enjoy reading them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.